Hi everyone, my name is Natalie Ledwell and this is The Inspiration Show. Today in the show I've got a very special guest that's actually going to be talking about spirituality specifically to do with men. I think often when we talk about spirituality, a lot of women are involved in that conversation, but this gentleman is actually helping men get in touch with their spiritual side as well. But before we get into our conversation and introduce my guest, I just want to remind you that if you're watching this show live on Facebook or later on our YouTube channel, make sure that you click the link below this video after you finish watching the show so you can take my 30-second quiz so we can figure out what is actually blocking you from success. So let me introduce you my special guest today. It's Mike Marschhausen. How are you, Mike?
I am excellent, Natalie. Thank you very much for having me here.
It's so great to have you here. I met Mike through actual mutual friends, and we did a little theta healing session together. So we might want to touch a little bit on that today as well. But I know that specifically what we're going to talk about today is men. We know that we have, there is an awakening happening on the planet. And it seems to me that the conversations that I have around spirituality normally involve more women than men. But I can see that you're doing some great work to help with the awakening of men as well. But before we get into our content today, why don't we just start with your story? Like, what is your background and how did you get into doing this kind of work?
Yeah, it just kind of showed up one day. So, yeah, my background is, I went to school for nutrition. And within that time, I was in the Army as well. I deployed to Afghanistan for a year. So I was the typical, I guess, if you think of like a college kind of, meathead gym athlete, I was in really good shape, studying nutrition. I was in the Army kind of thing. And so I was doing that, got out after I had like a lot of healing through nutrition. And that was kind of like my first kind of stepping into taking my power back a little bit, realizing that I can change. And so that after that, led to studying clinical nutrition and, doing my own health coaching business and traveling the world, doing the whole laptop lifestyle thing, traveling around with my wife. And so I was just, real hard into personal development and like entrepreneurism and getting into it and just doing all the traditional kind of personal development techniques that I could get my hands on and just kind of my affirmations and always had something in my ears, like always, something motivational, which was all great and really helped me. But I guess I ended up being a little too delusional about it. And, I had some real solid blocks that I wasn't aware of. So I just kept, going and going, but not really making this kind of progress that I wanted to. And then in Mexico one day, met someone who told me about, you mentioned in the beginning, theta healing and how it can instantly reprogram your subconscious mind. And I was like, sign me up. And because that's what I've been trying to do with all the other techniques and just not really having the results. Read the book, started doing it myself, had amazing results. And started doing it with some friends, had amazing results. And then, went to the training, did it. And then, from there, just my life completely changed. I was like, didn't even know what energy healing was. And then now all of a sudden I'm doing it full time. It just escalated really, really quickly. So it came out of necessity. I didn't know it was a thing. Someone told me about it. I was like, if it can help, I'm ready to try it. And that's, since then it's just massively skyrocketed. I kind of have my own way of doing the healing now and my own technique. And it's just has been really massive growth ever since then. But it was a lot of struggle and just kind of fighting every single day to get to that point. So, and then just having that relief has been so amazing after finding these new resources.
Right. So, going back to your story, so once you got out of the Army, after you got back from Afghanistan, so you were doing personal development because you had challenges when you got back, or what was the story there?
So when I got back from, I got right back into school, and then I actually changed my major into nutrition. And I guess I used partying and alcohol to cope with whatever I had going on. And then after changing some nutrition, I got rid of a lot of just like brain fog and like gut health stuff. And I could like think clearly. And that was like the first step. And then the personal development came after that. I was like, what else can I change? How else can I change? Give me. And then, got into like the business from that and just kept going from there.
Right. Excellent. So, all right. So let's talk about, so let's talk a little bit about theta healing because we've touched on that, and then we can go into the other stuff. So, so theta healing is what helping people discover what their blocks are, so they can clear, energy blockages in their body. Is that how that works?
Yeah, and so I do it very different. Everyone tells me who I've done it with tells me it's not like whoever else they have ever done it with before. So, and then it's like changed a lot. But after going, I have read the book and been to the training for it, and a lot of it, like the main principles, are using the beliefs, right? Beliefs create our reality, and then so being able to energetically change these beliefs and then find the blocks where they are in the subconscious mind, where they're being stored as emotion in the body, changing the beliefs that hold them there. And then therefore, when you change the beliefs, it kind of releases from the body. So it uses a mix of theta brainwave, being in that theta state, and then, the energy from the universe, and to be able to go and then immediately change those beliefs.
Right. Okay. And I know, well, you and I did a session, like I said before, and I've had knee pain for some time, and it really, my knee is basically healed. I'm actually starting to jog a little bit on the treadmill, which I haven't done for like 5 or 6 years. So it's been really exciting.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I know that's part of your work and part of what you have in your toolkit. So what's the, I know you are a man, but what has been more the focus of work, like, focusing on men and teaching them spirituality? What does that look like?
So one thing that I found, and my cousin, he came to the healing with me, or the training, and then we just had like this crazy, intense, massive healing. I didn't even know like what was being healed at the time. But it was just so intense. I felt it everywhere in my body, and it was, we were there with all women, and it was just like men need this. And we're talking about just from deep stuff to basic line stuff. Men think their problems aren't worth even acknowledging or being problems, and then by doing that you're ignoring it, and then when you ignore it you allow it to exist. And men kind of stubborn, and they're more into this warrior mentality. You're supposed to just struggle and fight, suck it up, suffer in silence, all these different things. And so I saw that there is a huge need for men to be able to go into this stuff and have recognize that it's not girly, hippie, woo-woo, anything like that. It's really just about exploring your inner world and being able to create change and growth on the deepest level possible. And so many men just they think they're not even worthy of their problems. And whereas women, I think they're very more open. And my private healing practice, I still work with mostly women, and they're just way more open. So we're really looking to make a shift now to have a space where men can gather and realize, well, there's a lot of just normal guys, and this normal guy right here, like he's been in the army, he's on this, pretty normal dude. This isn't just for like super esoteric stuff. So we're trying to make a common ground where men can get together and realize that they're not alone in these struggles. They don't have to suffer in silence, and they can bring them to the light to therefore clear and get rid of, and then we can just continue to raise the global consciousness through that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, because I think the conversation needs to be different with men. Like with women, it's easy. We like to talk a lot.
Women are great. Yeah.
And I think we find it easier to be vulnerable when we feel like we're in a safe space, but women can create that safe space for each other. Or I think where men's conditioning is a lot around, you have to be stoic, you have to have a tough upper lip, you can't cry, you can't, so I think creating a space like this is really important, because it is a different conversation and there's a different energy to it. So what are some of the things that you do, say, differently with men that you would, maybe not do the same with women in this kind of work?
Yeah, that reminded me of, you said like that fear of emotion, I think, is big. Like when you started mentioning that, like men are afraid of their emotions, and being emotional is a terrible thing. And then so for men, the conversation it's fairly similar, I think, but it's just about, well, to me, it's just showing through experience and through leading it and living it. And that's the way that's how I got into this. So that's my way of going about it. And it's just kind of like, starting with meditation, me and a couple of other partners, we all started with just meditating for like 10 minutes a day. And so, maybe just taking it slower with men and, getting to do these kind of simple things and then angling it slightly different, but it's just about, like you can do anything to get into like spirituality or, to get into this healing. Meditate 10 minutes a day. And then from there you start to experience. And then when you experience, then you start to really believe. And that's how it happened to me. So I really want to just help men experience, so I do have like some heart meditations for men to do, to try out, and just give it a shot. Whereas women, I think they're just like way more open and ready to dive into it. I mean, I work with plenty of men like that too, but so I I think it's just important to experience.
Yeah. And so with some of the men that you've worked with, like what are some of the changes that you've seen in them since they've, really discovered a bit more of a spiritual side or a spiritual part of their life?
It's so much like there's a sense of calm that starts to come down, the quiet, the analytical, that critical voice in mind that starts to just be quiet. And it's just, less of the struggle and just an overall peace and happiness and being more comfortable in yourself, being more comfortable with the emotions, and then just not worrying about things. And I think a lot of men, they do worry about things. They just say they don't.
Yeah.
And so now they're actually experiencing what it's like to not worry about things. And so there's a lot of internal shifts that just start to, and then like with this kind of healing, too, that it tends to just like quietly be gone. And then it just comes normal very, very quickly. It's very strange. That's how it has been for me, at least. It's like, wait, that was a problem. So it's just like this overall sense of calming the storm, and then being able to think clearly, to start to live and trust the heart, and the intuition, and being able to go about life that way instead of just all up here going crazy and just pretending that you don't have any problems or that they're not worth being problems, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, men are more conscious driven, or they're more like conscious mind, action, getting things happening. And for men to be able to drop into their intuition and into their heart is a journey. It's a big journey, which is, I think more men, I'm sure, would be open to, which is awesome. So how do you work with them? Do you do it online? Do you have groups? How does that work?
Yeah, so right now it's mainly just one-on-one online, so through Skype or just through phone. But we're also creating a community. So we have a free Facebook group now that you can join. I'm creating some programs through meditations. So using the heart freedom technique, which is my personal technique, and using that which is about getting into the heart, getting into the intuition, and then being able to live from there, to trust from there, and to use that intelligence, which I know you're very familiar about, with all the stuff and the amazing new stuff around the heart. That's coming out these days, and being able to get back into that spot. So just having this community, and one-on-one work can be done online from anywhere, and there'll be all kinds of retreats in the future. We're not quite at that level yet, just kind of getting things off the ground right now, but we'll have everything available.
That's so awesome. Now, I know that you are doing a trip across the country. Tell us a little bit about that, because you're raising funds and awareness, right?
Yes. Yeah, so this was started initially by my friend Troy. He's a good friend of mine. He was in the Marines, and he's done a couple of deployments to Iraq, and he's had a lot of friends commit suicide from the military. And he went kind of through that phase as well, contemplating suicide. And then with my veteran background, we decided to join forces. So we started planning this trip to go out west, Vision Quest West, and just make it sharing his story and being able to bring new resources and light to different areas of healing. That aren't available through the VA or just whatever's, is kind of told to veterans when they get home from service. And so being able to, share our stories, how we overcome these kind of things, and what else is out there. Can you do these type of healing techniques that he does? Can you do just getting out into nature and meditating? So just being able to bring it all together and going out west and linking up with as many different healing centers and veterans along the way to spread awareness to veterans, and that's our effort to make a dent in the veteran suicide thing, but also just the general sense of well-being in veterans, and then in men and women, and then growing it from there too. So yeah, we definitely love and appreciate the support from everyone, because this is for everyone, and we are all one, right? So we're trying to start with the veterans and the men and just bring it all together.
Yeah. Well, I think that they're a group of our community that really need a lot of help right now. So it's a great place to start. So so what kind of assistance can we give you on that trip? What kind of things do you need to be able to support you on that?
Ooh, okay. Well, so I forget the link right now, but Vision Quest West is the name of it. And my friend Troy, he does have a partner now. He's set up a GoFundMe that he has to raise funds for that. But then in general, just, you can follow us and go to Spirituality for Men and just experience, do the heart meditations, see if you like it, see if you like what's going on. And then, as you heal, we heal, and everyone else next to you heals. So the best thing that you can do is, you can follow along the trip, show us your love and support, but then heal yourself
Great. Awesome. So what was the website that we want to send people to?
So the best place to make it easy is to spiritualityformen.com.
You got that URL. That's fantastic.
Wide open.
Wow. See how much this work is needed? That URL wasn't even taken.
Yeah. We were like, wow, is that not a sign?
Yeah, exactly. So spiritualityformen.com. So that you can connect with Mike there and follow the trip and get involved, and then also seek out some information. And, you know, I think, and what you're talking about here is not some kind of woo-woo out there, you know, having to get naked, running in wilderness and stuff like that. You're talking about practical things that take, you know, 10 minutes a day to be able to implement that, make a massive difference.
Yeah.
And when you can make that journey from here to here, which, you know, is for some of us is really can be quite the journey. But when you can drop into your heart and then operate from that energy and from that place, life is completely different. You know, it's like you've swallowed the red pill from the Matrix, and it's just like, wow, I didn't know life could be like this.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you, Mike, for the work that you're doing. I know that you're doing some great work, not just with men in general, but with the vets and on all the healing work that you're doing. It's fantastic. So I want to thank you for joining me today. It's been awesome talking to you.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. It's great to connect again, and I'm excited about so many different things going on, and just everyone. I think getting into the heart is the best thing that we can all do, and there's so much amazing science and stuff coming out about the heart, but there's still so much that is unknown, and like this like heart freedom technique, you can use this as an energy healing technique to do the same thing that theta healing does, to change these beliefs, to do so many different things, and it's beautiful. The resources are all around us. Just start doing anything that calls to you.
Exactly. And just start living life with more happiness and joy and in flow, which is awesome. So guys,
Yes.
If you are watching this show on Facebook Live or on the YouTube channel, make sure that when the show is over that you click that link underneath. So just if the quiz takes you 30 seconds, but it really helps us to kind of discover what's kind of been blocking you from success. And if you're watching this on mymovies.com, don't forget to leave your email so we can send you the Manifesting with the Masters video e-course for free. So until next time, remember to live large, choose courageously, and love without limits. We'll see you soon.